of 2025. It's 5:05 p.m. My name is Corey Box. I will be your chair for tonight's proceedings. We do have a quorum, so we will be conducting business on behalf of the City of Jenks, America. It's call to order, please. Mr. Tanner, can you please verify our attendance?
Yeah. Mr. Murray.
Here.
Auger. Montgomery.
Here.
Brown.
Present.
Morris. Blackburn.
Here.
And Chair Box.
Here. Thank you very much, sir. For tonight's general business, item number 1 is a request for approval of our consent agenda. You guys want to pull anything out of the consent agenda for further discussion, you may. If so, please do that now. If not, we just need a motion for approval on item 1.
Move to approve. Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have a proper motion and a second. Let's vote, please.
Murray.
Yes.
Auger. Montgomery.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Blackburn.
Yes.
Chair Box.
Yes, sir. Item 2 will pull. Moving on to item 3 is the award of purchase for shark quarantine pipe fitting purchases in the amount of $71,641.45 from Harrington Plastics. For everyone out there in the studio audience that's following along on page 69, we welcome Mr. Kenny Alexopoulos. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi. So we for phase 1 that the budget was approved for last time, this is one of the line items. It's basically pipe and fittings, PVC pipe and fittings for the filtration, specifically the water makeup system and salt mixing system, as well as part of the filtration of the main tank, which is the shark holding tank. And of course, we have our parts list that we sent to 3 vendors, and we attached their quotes, and we're going with the lowest one, which is Harrington Plastics / Cortrol Process Systems. Harrington Plastics just bought Cortrol, that's why it's kind of, I have them both listed here, and that's been recent. So, and they're just now wanting to get into the PVC pipe game, so I suspect this is them bending over backwards to get us the best price.
All right, thank you, Kenny.
You bet.
Any questions for Mr. Alexopoulos? Just light your mic.
Yeah, I had a couple, Kenny. With these bids, is it basically, none of these are manufacturers, they're suppliers.
Right.
Was it basically the same physical spec equipment that each of them?
Yes, yeah,
were-
everything is apples and apples, so
Okay.
it's the brand that we use for pipes and fittings and valves is Spears. And so, and the main reason, I mean, they make high quality items. There are other manufacturers that make just as good, if not better. But this, to keep consistent with the rest of the aquarium, you kind of get yourself pigeonholed because all your parts, all your spare parts, everything, all your specs are to a particular brand over 24 years. And so if you switch brands, now all of a sudden you've got oddball valves, and now you've got to try to, now you need spare parts for both, and it gets really complicated. So until Spears goes belly up, which I don't see happening, they make a great product, and they're
Yeah,
It's
I've
kinda-
used them. I've used a bunch of their stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, I like Asahi valves a little better, but they're, again, it's, some people like this, some people like that, but just to keep it consistent, but yes, to
Okay.
answer your question.
So it's apples and apples.
It is, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kenny Harrington's quote expired on May 14th. They're going to honor this price?
I spoke with them the other day, and they said that they'll honor the quote.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Mr. Alexopoulos?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Murray?
A couple things. One, will this afford us some spare parts to have on file or on stock or on hand?
So usually when I make these lists, I usually add about 10 to 15% on the quantities until it gets past 6-inch pipe. So once we're at 8-inch or better, then I don't do much extra ordering. For instance, a 2-inch tee, let's say, costs about $1.50, something like that. While a 12-inch tee is like $600. So, what we ended up doing is using, this actually would have been more. This would have been about $8,000 more, but we kept parts that were left over from the sea turtle exhibit. And they were in a shelf at the antenna yard for quite a few years. And they were the larger diameter stuff because we just don't use it. And back then I bought extra and I was like, well, it cost us a lot of money. We never even used it. So it's good for us now. But so we are using those, and I got to reduce my list. But yeah, for the most part, there's redundancy. But for the big stuff, it's just not cost effective, and the chances that we'll need it is pretty rare.
So a lot of that is interchangeable from stock that you have.
Oh, it's all
Already
interchangeable.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's why we get the
Okay.
spears. Is what I was getting at. is
Particular
that-
brand, like you said, that's stock. Now,
Yeah.
do you or staff, are they able to fit these things, or do you actually have to then outsource a contractor, plumber, or somebody to come in and repair something of this nature?
No, we do everything.
Okay. No,
So
all
yeah,
right.
so the way the process.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
so the way the process works is basically I do a piping instrument diagram on Illustrator, which is like a flow chart. And I have a program that I plug in flows and pipe lengths and this and that, and it will give me the diameter of pipe that I need and all that. And all that info I put on the flow rates. I put on the flow rates on the piping diagram. And then I do an equipment schedule as well, which is all the pumps and everything. And then I hand the PID, which is the piping diagram, to John. And John models it in what's called SketchUp. It's a 3D model. And then we have another program called 3Scan, and that we can actually put the plumbing in. So the model is it's real space to the inch, and you'll see the whole filtration built in a 3D way. It looks real. I mean, it looks done. And you can take that program and say, how many feet of 6-inch pipe do I have? And it'll calculate, and it'll give you like whatever it is, say 300 feet. So then I would order, I'd probably order 350 feet. Or something like, depends on the size of the pipe. And it'll tell you how many fittings and all this other stuff. And then we go, and when the guys are ready to build, the guys have, a laptop and whatever they need in the construction site. And they have all the stuff, all the paperwork that we've done. And they can build everything very quickly and easily because they're looking at what they're building. And they're like, okay, well, then the sand filter goes here and the pump goes here. And they can build really fast. Okay. Versus, well, I don't know, we can put the pump here, or maybe it fits better here. By the time you try to do all that in the field, it takes a long time, which is how we used to do it, maybe 20 years or 10, 15 years ago, But so that's how that works. But yeah, we build it and we maintain it and we repair it.
Okay. One other question, if I could. Two of the companies are Oklahoma addresses, and the one company, which is the least expensive, is out of Texas. But I mean, like a $20-some-odd thousand difference.
So
And I know sometimes they do that, but is it just?
That's their headquarters, but they're also in Oklahoma.
okay,
Yeah. They already
okay.
visited the site and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Well, see, they acquired Cortrol. That's the thing. Cortrol's Tulsa, and it's a fiberglass and plastic fabrication company, and that's who used to make our some of our components that we're custom design, and they've made tanks for us and things. But anyhow, Harrington acquired them, so in a sense, Courtauld is Harrington, and they're in Tulsa, so they're the ones that are they're our rep, and the main guy. I've been in business with him for the aquarium since before we built the aquarium. So they're very, familiar and pro Oklahoma Aquarium. Matter of fact, they're the ones that donated the observation station in the sea turtle. They built it, and we designed it. We were going to do it ourselves, but we were running out of time. So we went through their boneyard and picked all these spare parts. And then we said, we're running out of time. What would it cost to build it? And they said, stick our name on it. We'll do it for free. And they did it. And it was great. It's a great partnership. So anyhow, they did give us a really good deal. You bet.
I
Great.
would make a motion that we award the purchase of the shark quarantine pipe fitting purchases to Harrington Plastics.
Second?
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Proper motion and second on item 3. Let's vote, please.
Murray,
Yes.
Montgomery,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Blackburn,
Yes.
Chair Box.
Yes, sir. We move on to their staff report. Mr. Alexopoulos, any highlights for us?
Yes, sir. Our attendance and revenue is neck and neck with 2024, which is a good thing because that was a very good year. And sometimes we're ahead, and then sometimes we lag behind. But we're all in all, we're on pace with 2024 right now for this quarter. Our memberships, however, are way high. They're at 30% right now, higher than they were in 2024. So, it's something to think about for next summer, possibly raising the prices on our memberships, because that's a little too high, in my opinion. It's not, and this is, of course, after we got rid of the 50% and all this, so it's still crazy high, in my opinion, to have 30% memberships. So I think it's something we need to, I'd feel better at about a 20%. So I think it's something we need to look at for maybe next summer. Let's see what our numbers are. Let's see what, our revenue is. Let's see what happens during this summer, and then we can talk about it maybe next spring and see if it still warrants the possibility of increasing the price of memberships. But definitely not tickets, just memberships. It's kind of a little out of whack. So it's a good thing, but maybe too much of a good thing. So, and then some of our events, the Easter egg hunt was wildly successful. Of course, it was pouring down rain that day. It was the Saturday before Easter, and the staff did an amazing job. It was indoors, and so we did an Easter egg hunt indoors, as well as set up vendor stations throughout the aquarium, like Halamarine, giving out candy for the duration of this event. And people really appreciated that because, as you know, when you're either a kid or a dad, Easter's one of those things that your kid most of the time misses out on, because by the time you get there or whatever, everything's gone. So we wanted to make sure that didn't happen. And people were complimenting us left and right on that. They really appreciated it. So no kids got really, missed out, which was great. The unveiling of the aquarium wall wrap at the Cox/Harvest Center went well, and we're already having positive feedback. So thank you to Ann, Dr. Money, and OAF for that. I think it's a great way to get our name out there. The annual run will be held on June 7th at 8 a.m. And then we're going to have a fun run and a sanctioned 5K run as well. As far as our projects, we're waiting on some of the materials to come in for the shark quarantine facility. There's a few little things, electrical. There's some components relating to the backup generator that still has to be installed. They're waiting on the part to come in. And there's a little bit of electrical that we want to have changed or run, or not changed, but added to the building. So we're getting some quotes for that. And as soon as the epoxy gets in, and it looks like we're not going to have any more people walking in the building, we're going to prep the main concrete tank and clean it, and then we have to seal off the building so nobody kicks up any dust. And then we will install that epoxy. That'll be the first thing. I don't really have, an accurate time frame, but I'm going to guess, because I don't know when this part's coming in, and I don't know when, who we're going with, what quote for the electrical, and when that gets installed. But I'm going to guess somewhere in about a month we should be starting to do the epoxy. So that's kind of first and foremost that we will be working on. And the upside down catfish exhibit is complete. This is a really neat tank. So it's a small tank, but what the guys did, there's a species of catfish. I'll try to keep it short, Mary. There's a species of catfish. I'm sorry, I really like what we do. That swims upside down. That's what they do, and hence they call them an upside down catfish. So the guys thought it would be a really cool exhibit to mess with our visitors, to do like a child home aquarium with a castle and all that cheesy, but build it upside down. So when you walk up to the tank, there's a castle literally upside down, and then there's an entire wall behind it, a mural scene like you would see in a fish tank, and it's upside down, and it's lit from the bottom up, and it looks like water's on the bottom. It's really neat. And so when our guests come look at it, they're just like, what is going on? They're scratching their head, and then you got these fish swimming upside down. And so when you do a video, I always show the video. I show the video upside down, so it looks right side up, and people are like, okay, yeah, that's a fish tank. Fish are swimming right side, and then I say, now watch this.
Video right now?
What's that?
Do you have this video with you?
I
right
do, yeah.
now? Well, we got time. Let's put it up here. You've hyped this so
Wait,
much.
Okay, how do you do it?
Why don't we
Gallery,
finish and then you
Okay,
can
we'll
show
do
us
it.
after we
Yeah,
adjourn?
yeah, it's really cool.
which gallery is that in?
It's in the Extreme Fishes Gallery. Yeah, it's just to the left of the lionfish. Ideally, it would be an 8-foot-long tank. It'd really look cool, but it was a tank that we needed something in, and it was more of a test bed, because if we did it big and it didn't work, that always sucks. So, but we did it, and it's probably one of my favorite exhibits now. So I'll just like sitting there and watching people, and just when they step up to it, I'm trying to compute what they're looking at is really cool. So, but anyhow, they did an amazing job. That castle's handmade. It's not a bunch of stuff from PetMart. I mean, this is all handmade stuff. They just killed it. It's beautiful, actually. The leak in the shark tunnel has stopped on its own, which is what we were hoping was going to happen. Basically, the way leaks work in salt, especially salt water, whether it's leaking through concrete or a seal, if the leak is small enough, in other words, you have small, very fine fissures or very small hole, in time, debris and also calcification starts plugging those little micro holes. And so, so that's apparently what's happened, is it clogs itself up. That.
Dr. Money, do you disagree?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, you've looked confused for the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing. What's that?
I've seen evidence of it on one of my.
Yeah, so it usually will lime up or calcify up, and then you also get debris, and
So
that.
you're not concerned?
No, because it's not a structural thing.
Oh, okay.
It never was.
Okay.
I can tell you what happened is that at some point on the inner seal, which is not structural, there is a small hole popped somewhere, and then there's a channel. Once it gets to that seal, there's a void space that's filled with what's called backer rod, just to fill the gap. It's like a foam. Well, once it gets in that void space, you could have a leak over here in the seal But it may not find its way to the dry side until it's way over here, going through the channel. Because now you have a channel full of water under pressure. And so any little hole it finds on the dry side seal, and you got kids stabbing it with keys and pencils and picking at the seal on the inside, so it's not perfect. And then any little micro cracks in concrete, it'll penetrate that. And so that's what happened. And it's a bear trying to find that leak, because if it's leaking here on the dry side, that doesn't mean that the leak is over here. The leak could be 20, 30 feet away, you know what I mean? So it's not an easy thing to find the leak. And the slower the leak, the harder it is to find. We have, things that we've made that looks like a suction cup that you can go along a seal, and then it has a little wheel at the top. It's just where it detects flow, right? So if it's sucking in water in that chamber, in that sealed chamber, if you're on the leak, that wheel will start spinning. But not if it's a very, very, very small seep. It just isn't enough velocity. So it's very difficult to find those micro leaks. On the bright side, those are the ones that plug up. So I'd rather have those, even if you can't find them, because, most of the time it will plug up. So we're lucky, and that's that for now. And I did have Greg Helms come and look at the concrete and everything, and he agreed. There's nothing structural. So, the pollinator garden, it is, guys, this thing is looking amazing. It's just a beautiful, beautiful garden that Phil and his guys have been, they seeded, and they've been adding plants and things, and they've added extra trellises. So what we ended up with was just not good enough for the staff. So they went in and put their touch on it, and it's just way, way more amazing than I ever thought it would be, and it's still growing. We may not open it this year because the plants are young, and I'd really like them. You can see it. There's just a little fence around it. The plants are young, and I don't, anybody who tramples them or anything like that, we're going to lose thousands of dollars and set us back. So if I can get at least one good season for everything to take root, they are perennials, and they will come back. And then next year they'll be established and stronger and bigger, and so less likely to get trampled or picked or that kind of thing. So. Looking amazing. I was out there sitting on a bench just watching bees and butterflies today. It's incredible. It's beautiful.
Looks really good.
And all this is because of Dr. Money. She came to me with the idea years ago about a pollinator garden up front, and I was just picturing a bunch of weeds, and it's like one of those things. Oh, I want a puppy, and you get the puppy, and then you're taking care of it, and it's just this giant monstrosity. So I was like, and I said, I'll make a deal with you. Let's do a small test in the back, away from everything. And I forgot about it, and it was, I guess, 2 years in the running. I don't know why she never came up to me and said, look at it. And but then one day I was out there, and I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And then it dawned on me, that's the pollinator garden she was talking about. So that's all it took, and then I held my end of the bargain, and then she obviously, raised them, got the Stewart Family Foundation to donate the money, and so now it's here.
Looks really good, by the way.
Thank you.
What other, never mind. Is that
No.
Adam Mabel back there? I'll ask him after.
Yeah, do you have the hives?
What's that?
The goal of a pollinator garden is to attract pollinating insects, but other
Yes.
than bees, what are there?
Oh,
What's
so
the goal?
bees and butterflies.
So you wanted a couple 100,000 bees right near the entrance where all the kids
Pretty
walk?
much, yeah.
Okay.
And
Makes
so,
a lot of sense. Good
yeah,
job, Dr. Money.
Yeah, you get hummingbirds, just wildlife in
Yeah, the
general.
hummingbirds aren't dive bombing the kids as they walk.
There's
into
already
the-
birds trying
as
to.
they walk into the aquarium. Just the Africanized bees.
Yeah,
Ask Adam Abel about it. He will tell you all about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he
Yeah.
will. Too bad Adam wasn't here.
yeah. He's going to put bee boxes right there in the front, the
Okay.
entrance.
All right.
But no, you got hummingbirds, and you're already seeing wildlife coming in. Matter of fact, kind of a little bit of a nuisance. We already have a rabbit that's set up camp. It's eating some of our stuff.
So could the aquarium sell honey?
Well, we need to talk to Adam, and I,
It might have a conflict of interest. And
I don't
get the
know,
vote
but
on that.
if nothing else, it's a great contribution to the environment. And you know, bees are in trouble,
Sweet
and
idea.
butterflies are in trouble, and monarch butterflies are really in trouble. And they utilize only milkweed to lay their eggs and their caterpillars to eat. And milkweed is slowly being eradicated because it's considered a weed, even though it's a very beautiful plant. And so we have a lot of milkweed in there, and so you'll see the monarchs are going to be laying eggs on there.
Milkweed.
And so we're not going to do like Janice. So she said, God, I keep getting these really colorful caterpillars on my milkweed. I keep killing them, and they keep coming back. And I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, okay.
How can anybody think that's a weed? It's bright orange.
Yeah. Well, when it's not flowering.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, it's a beautiful plant. I mean, and it's
like a
flowers
marijuana- it's a
pretty much all
marijuana leaf.
summer, and it's just a gorgeous plant. But I didn't know anything about this topic or subject, so, but I got educated and you know, keeping an open mind, and I learned a lot, and I think it's an amazing thing. So, and then we're going to have that piece of land just to the south of it, once you get over across the driveway between the pollinator garden and the backup generator for the main aquarium. That yard is available, and so eventually I'd like to do something with that, fundraise. I'd like to build a very large gazebo, and then add maybe a water feature, more pollinator gardens, maybe some more trees, and really make it beautiful and read as one. And, you know, we could have a lot of... What's that?
How about an aviary?
That's a possibility, yeah. Anything's a possibility, sure. We just got to make sure it's secure, you know, from other, you know, outside forces. Speaking of which, I do worry about the pollinator garden and if we're going to get any vandalism or what have you, but we're just going to have to see how it goes. So, and the installation of the new donor wall that's in the Great Hall that OEF and Todd have been working on is almost completely installed right now. So that's going to be pretty neat, and I think, you know, Todd will know a lot more about it if y'all have any questions. He just wore me down, and finally I said, just do whatever you want. So, do you have any insight on that? Anybody?
No, we started it today. It should be finished tomorrow. It's all up and installed. We're just programming now, and
So it'll go live sometime this week.
yeah, hopefully tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
So now it'll be all about getting some content for it.
Yeah.
We're waiting on the deck, so we don't have a way to transmit it.
All right, any questions, comments for Mr. Alexopoulos? Last call. All right, Kenny, it might be, if you can consider the next couple of weeks, maybe see if you can get all of us over for a 30-minute whirlwind quick tour update of everything, construction and the upside down shark exhibit or whatever. it
You
is.
mean on site?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love
Yeah,
to.
yeah. There's
Always
been
feel smarter after
there's been a lot of
Okay.
updates. I mean, it doesn't have to be any more than 30 minutes. Yeah, just maybe during a lunch or something, they could all meet over there and get a quick look.
Absolutely. Anytime, you know, if you want to send me a date or two, and I'll make it happen for
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
And let me know if you want to see that video.
Yeah, we do. Before you leave, actually, right after we adjourn. Time is 5:35 p.m. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. And welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Jenks City Council. Today is Tuesday, May 20th of 2025. The time is 6:05 p.m. My name is Corey Box. I will be your chair for tonight's meeting, and we'll get underway with a roll call.
John Brandt.
Here?
Kevin Short.
Here.
Matt Emmons. Donna Auger. Adam Abel.
Here.
Craig Murray.
Here.
Mayor Box.
Here. Thank you, sir. Tonight's invocation, I'm guessing that's, is that you, Pastor Davis? Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Come on board. Welcome aboard, sir. You bet.
Want to say good evening, everybody?
Hello.
Thank
What's
you, Mayor.
up, Dylan? How are you?
Good.
Good, all right.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for this privilege tonight. Father, we're grateful, we're thankful for what you have done, what you continue to do, and for what you're going to do for the city of Jenks. God, you've been good to us, you've been great to us, you've been so merciful and gracious, and we thank you, Lord, for smiling upon our community. Thank you for our leadership. Thank you, God, for those you put in place to lead our community. And we're grateful for each and every one of them. We pray, God, you continue to give them vision, guidance, and direction. And God, as they continue to follow you, we'll continue to follow them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Mr. Abel, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
One of these days, Dylan can lead us in that Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, sir.
We know I need him to sound off a little bit more, though. All right. All right, Animal Welfare Spotlight. Looks like we have one tonight. Good evening, ma'am. How are you? We're doing all right.
My name is Jordan. I'm an animal control officer with Jenks. This here tonight is Gray. He is about 6 months old and probably the most laid back, as you can see back there, most laid back puppy we have. He just hangs out in our lap. He steals our office chairs. Yeah, he's pretty chill. We have about 5 dogs right now up for an adoption, and they're all up to date on their vaccinations, no adoption fees, and then upon adoption, if they haven't been already, we will also cover the cost of their sterilization.
And do we know what kind of dog? Great. How does he identify?
Kind of pit bull mix.
Other
but
as maybe
also,
hungry.
like-
He sees a lot of ribs on that thing.
Yeah, he is like a pit bull mix, maybe Malinois. He can jump really high.
Okay.
Yeah, and he eats a bunch, so
He
I don't know
really?
what that's
Wow.
about.
Yeah, he's a slender little guy.
Yeah,
Okay. Who named him Gray?
that'd be Caleb, the
Oh,
old ace. Yeah.
well,
He didn't
from a
think
sales
he
and
was
marketing
Gray.
perspective, we could probably work on some brighter names.
Yeah.
That's just me, though. Well, thank you very much. Good luck to you, Gray.
Thank you. Come on.
Get some meat on his bones and get him out of there quicker. All right, moving on to citizens' comments or public comments. If you'd like to address the council tonight as a whole on any particular item that won't be discussed on tonight's agenda, you are welcome to do so. We'll limit you to 3 minutes. The floor is open. The floor is yours. Okay, very well. We will close the floor to citizen public comments. Moving on to our general business. Item number 1 is our consent agenda. If anyone on council would like to take a second look or deeper look at A through K, you may do so. We can pull that item, or we can consider a motion to approve as a whole.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second?
Very well. I think we have a proper motion and a second to approve item 1. Let's vote, please.
John Brown.
Yes?
Kevin Short.
Yes.
Adam Abel.
Yes.
Craig Murray.
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We'll pull item 2. Moving on to item 3 is potential executive session for the purpose of discussing the potential purchase of real property located generally near the intersection of Riverfront Drive and Aquarium Place. Need a motion and a second to enter
Motion.
executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Thank you both. Let's vote, please. Roll call.
John Brown,
Yes?
Kevin Short,
Yes.
Adam Abel,
Yes.
Craig Murray,
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes, thank you. Sorry for that. We will be back. has returned from executive session at 7:07 PM. No votes were cast. We are moving on to other business, city manager's report. Mr. Shrout says we have a video related to Public Works that we're going to watch. Let's get that underway. Before you hit play, we need to stock this with some fish, from what I hear. We had a couple guys fish it during Tedford Smokeout, and none of the kids caught any fish, and the older guy did, but only because he went really, really far north. So we need to put some big boys down south. Get some whoppers in there. Snakes? Well, that's all part of Mother Nature. We can't. All right, roll it.
I want to express my heartfelt, sincere thanks to all of you guys for working for the city of Jenks and Public Works. Y'all are such a good staff. Y'all get the job done. We go through a lot of trials and tribulations out there. We got a lot of work to do. Rarely you complain about it. You just go get it done because you know it's your job. And that's what Public Works is all about. Please, public, give them a pat on the back, okay? These guys are out there in cold, hot, wintertime, summertime, heat, 103-degree temperature out there working. So just give them a pat on the back for taking care of your roads, your water, your sewer. The city leadership definitely respects everything that Public Works does. They appreciate what you do. So just keep up the good work, okay? Just keep it up and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Barry. All right. Committee reports. Anybody on council has anything they want to talk about? Light your mic.
Real
Mr.
quick, we did not have an Economic Development Committee meeting since the last meeting because of the DC fly-in, but we do have one scheduled for June 6th regarding an opportunity, and so hopefully maybe the second June meeting will have an update on some development.
Can you send me a meeting invite to that, please? June 6th?
Yes, I asked, yes.
Okay, thanks.
And our Go Plan meeting that was scheduled was postponed because of weather last night, so we'll have that rescheduled as well.
Yeah. Thank you. I have nothing on my mayor's report, so we will call that, we'll say we're adjourned at 7:10 PM. All right. Call to order the Jenks Public Works Authority meeting. Roll call, please.
John Brown.
Still here?
Kevin Short.
Here.
Matt Emmons. Donna Ogier. Adam Abel.
Here.
Craig Murray.
Here.
Chair Box.
Here, item number 1, consent agenda. Anyone?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as approved, or as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. We have proper motion second. Let's roll call, please.
John Brown.
Yes?
Kevin Short.
Yes.
Adam Abel.
Yes.
Craig Murray.
Yes.
Chair Box.
Yes. Item 2 will pull. Mr. Shrout, last call.
There's a report in your agenda. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Did everyone get a copy of the Downtown Jenks Master Plan Parking Analysis? Okay, good. And lastly, chamber report.
Well,
Oh,
question.
sorry.
There was not a engineering project and major highlights included in this agenda.
Good point.
Well, then, we will get that out to you.
Thank you.
Good call.
We can schedule lunch with Anthony.
Sir?
Schedule lunch with Anthony. One-on-one. A better way to do it. Probably owe him lunch anyway. Angie, good evening. How are you? Thanks for hanging in.
Thank you. I'm great.
All right.
So real quick, just some updates. We have our May member luncheon tomorrow. We're actually going to be hosting the Metropolitan Environmental Trust and Leadership. Environmental Trust. They will be talking about recycling. And then we also have our Leadership Jenks graduation. So that'll be exciting. May 31st is our Food Truck Festival. We have almost 70 vendors and food trucks. So I think it's about 40 food trucks. And so it should be a good crowd, a good mix of different types of food. We will be featured on the Living Oklahoma on KTUL. We will be filming this week, and so that will be all about the Food Truck Festival. We have our Women in Business Lunch in June, on June 5th. Our last legislative lunch for the year on June 6th, or for the session. That will be a wrap-up, and then we have a legislative elected officials reception, which you all will be receiving an invite to for June 10th. Our June member lunch on June 18th will be with Hunden Partners, talking about the downtown master plan. And then June 25th is Bowling for Business, and July 12th, Sharks in the Park. So lots of fun things coming up. Really quick on economic development, we have worked with CoStar to get the software for available lease and sell properties. And so if anybody is looking for a retail spot or any type of office space, we can help find that space for them if they give us a call. We've had ribbon cuttings with Red River Payroll, Sweet Shots, District Burger, Next Level Extreme Fitness. There's a re-grand opening with Reezers tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. And Motorsports Collective did host a groundbreaking about a month ago. I do have copies of all of this for you as well, so I'm just going over the highlights. At our Women in Business Conference in March, we had over 60 women attend. It was a great time. Also, the Jenks Historical Museum Board, I have been appointed vice chair on that. Big thing in government affairs, as was mentioned earlier, the Washington, D.C. fly-in, which managers attended as well. And we had 4 of us from Jenks. It was a great turnout. We'd love to have more people come with us next year. I was able to do a nighttime tour of the Capitol, which was really cool. And then a select group of us went down and witnessed the Ways and Means Committee as they talked budget for the year. So it was a really good experience there. As far as marketing and tourism go, we have a Drillers Discover Jenks Night, which is going to be Thursday, August 28th. We will be reaching out, Mayor, to see if you want to throw out the first pitch or sing the national anthem, your choice.
Yeah, you're just teasing me now, right?
No.
I asked to pitch last time. Kevin, you were there, right? I don't think they told us to pound sand, didn't they?
Well, we'll see if we can make it happen this time.
Can anybody here throw a baseball 60 feet? How far is it? 60 feet? I could probably reach.
Start practicing. You got 2 months, so.
Yeah.
I mentioned the Living Oklahoma interview. Our Discover Jenks magazines, our new edition, they're going to be coming out this summer pretty soon. They will be going out in tourism centers in Arkansas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. So that will be exciting. About 40,000 copies will be distributed. Food Truck Festival I mentioned. And then I'm very, very excited about this. We are doing a revamp of our Discover Jenks Facebook and social media. We have had 50 followers just in the last 28 days. Because of the Food Truck Festival, the Chamber's also gained about 250 followers in the last 28 days. With the new website, the Chamber website and the Discover Jenks and Elevate Jenks, we are almost ready to launch our brand new kiosk system. So I brought a sample of it with me tonight. If you'd like to see it when I am done, and the meeting's adjourned, I can let you preview it. So that is really all I have. I do have... we did hire an admin support specialist, Jerry Johnson, who started just on May 1st. She's amazing. You'll get to meet her tomorrow if you're there. She is great with the phones and just greeting people. And then we have a summer intern starting on May 27th from ORU.
And Research is tomorrow at 2?
2 o'clock.
If you guys could try to make it, they've had to reschedule once or twice, but it'd be really good if you guys could go.
Do you know what your cover is going to be on the Discover Jenks magazine?
I do. It is going to be the sea turtle from the aquarium. Seymour, I think is his name.
Cool. Thank you. Did you get the night tour from Mr. Josh Driscoll?
No, Josh was not able to attend with us.
Oh, he
but,
wasn't there? Oh.
Kevin, Congressman Hearn's staff.
Oh,
gave
very
it to
good.
us, so.
Was he the chair of Ways and Means, or is he not anymore?
He's not the chair, but
Okay.
he's still on the committee.
Ranking member? Okay.
Yeah, so he did come down and say hello to us while we were there.
Very cool. All right, thank you very much. Last call, council. Very well. Time is 7:17. We are adjourned. Have a good evening.